When we think of the future, we like to think of a legion of loyal, smart robots that serve us at their pleasure, cleaning for us, cooking for us, and handling all those daily domestic tasks that we just don't want to do. I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets Canada for digitaltrends.com, and in a robot vacuum, that means the emptying of the dustbin in particular. While plenty of robot vacuums can now take care of that dirty little chore for you, there are many more that don't. So as we march toward that promising future, is there still a place in the smart home for robot vacuums that don't empty themselves? Anyone who's been following vacuum technology knows the last decade has been monumental. We went from having to haul out giant, heavy, corded upright vacuums to clean our floors to the development of robot vacuums like the now iconic Roomba. Those early days of automated vacuuming were more novelty than necessity, however, with the rolling robots bumping around, smashing into furniture and walls, and leaving marks and dropping debris. The next big advent of smart vacuums was mapping. Using things like lasers, LiDAR, cameras, and an array of sensors and even artificial intelligence, vacuums began to be able to see their way around your home. Since that first iRobot Roomba, we've also seen robot vacuums come into the market from myriad manufacturers. There's Roborock, Ecovacs, Xiaomi, Eufy, Shark, and Dream. And the advent of all this localization technology has allowed robot vacuums to navigate obstacles and create smart maps all on their own. These smart maps allow us to label all of the spaces in the house so we can send the bots out to clean just the bathrooms or maybe vacuum the living room on Wednesdays and Fridays. Hazard recognition is also improving monumentally. Where older bot vacs might have stalled out after getting tangled in a wayward charging cord, or worse, rolled through an unfortunate dog accident, today's vacuums are able to detect, recognize, and avoid problems. The latest must-have in robot vacuum technology is the self-emptying robot, and even in the few years since this technology was introduced, there have been major upgrades and advancements. Self-emptying robot vacuums come with a base station that itself contains a small internal vacuum. When your vacuum robot's onboard dustbin is full, the vacuum is smart enough to return to the base, and it essentially evacuates its insides into a sealed dust bag. Once considered a novelty for germaphobes, the self-emptying vacuum robot is a lot more than that. Traditional robot vacuums may not be smart enough to tell you when their onboard dustbin is full, so they'll often head out on their rounds, merely driving around your house, suction power all but diminished because their bin bellies are too full. With a self-emptying robot vacuum, this means suction power is going to be always maximized because the bin will never be too full to accept more. So every time it heads out, it's truly working for you, which is what one of these often pricey bots should be doing. So self-emptying robots are more efficient, they're cleaner, and often smarter than their belly-full bump-around counterparts. Today, we are advancing into an even smarter place with our robot vacuum army. Once single-purpose, robot vacuums now often also come with the ability to mop. And to digress for just a second, mop is actually a bit of a misnomer for what these devices are actually doing. They don't mop in the bucket, water, and mass of yarn mop head sense, sopping up all manner of liquids. Instead, think of today's robot vacuums with mopping capabilities as more of a soggy Swiffer, taking a lightly dampened cloth to the floor after it's been freshly vacuumed. But many of the newest generation of vacuum mops now also employ water tanks. In much the same way as the vacuum within a vacuum will clear out the insides of dust and debris, the smarter mopping units like the Ecovacs D-Bot X1 Omni and Roborock S7 Max V Ultra can refill the fresh water tank for you, and some can even clean and dry themselves too. While these advancements are truly amazing, there are two problems. The first is that these massive self-cleaning base stations do take up a lot of space. If you don't have a spot under a table or in an out-of-the-way room somewhere, you need to look at this knee-high car wash every time you walk by. Marvels of engineering, yes. Masters of design, not so much. The second problem is cost. Adding all of this technology understandably comes in at an ever-growing price. Some of these multi-purpose, super smart robot vacuum and mop, multi-wash, rinse and repeat base stations cost as much as a mortgage payment, while a simple empty-it-yourself robot vacuum can be had for just a couple $100 today. So will there still be a place for robot vacuums that can't empty themselves? Think of it this way. When they invented the power drill, did the humble screwdriver simply go away? So what can a really basic robot vacuum without self-emptying do? Check out my review with one of the better choices, or see what about $1,500 will get you with one of those self-empty wash refill vacuum mop bots in my review of the Ecovacs D-Bot X1 Omni. If you want to read this topic or reference any of what I've talked about here, head over to digitaltrends.com for a full write-up. There you can ask any questions you have about robot vacuums. You can, of course, also post them here in comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Erin. Until the next time, you can find me on either Twitter or Instagram. I'm at ErinLYYC. You can also always catch me on Facebook at facebook.com/TechGadgetsCanada.